name is Kelly Gilson, and I'm the Executive Director with United Way Oxford. Thank you so much for joining us today, and it is my pleasure to be here with Michelle Denison and Lisa Williams of Strong Start. And we're going to talk about their Letters, Sounds, and Words program and how together, more than ever, we are supporting the educational growth of children across Oxford County. So welcome, ladies, and thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really looking forward to sharing a little bit about your program and the impact it's having on children across our community. So why don't you maybe introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your program?
Sure. I'm Michelle Denison, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Strong Start. I've been leading the organization for the last 13 years, and we've been very busy growing our programs, specifically Letters, Sounds, and Words, and we're so pleased and proud to be able to have our programs in the elementary schools in Oxford County.
And I'm Lisa Williams, and my role at Strong Start is the Director of Program. I'm responsible for all three of our Strong Start programs, Baby Connections, Get Ready for School, and our Letters, Sounds, and Words program. And I manage and supervise the program and the program development, as well as program expansion and community partnership, and I have been with the organization for almost 2 years.
Thank you so much. So I think this is just such a fantastic program because it meets a real identified need in the community. And pre-pandemic, I think we were talking about 1 in 4 children, I believe in grade 1, are behind in their literacy skills compared to their peers. And is that what you're still seeing, or has the pandemic changed that a bit?
I think what we're seeing is more children are struggling with their early literacy. There's been quite an impact with interruptions in classroom learning over the last couple of years, varying experiences with at-home learning, parents doing their best, also working from home, starts at school and then shutdowns and so on. So especially for the very young, where they were having their kindergarten years online, and now they're in grade 1 and grade 2, that we're really seeing higher numbers of children needing support.
And that makes sense. And those early years, those skills you learned in the early years truly are the building blocks for future years, are they not?
Absolutely. Our greatest growth in our brain development happens before we're 5 years old. So catching children really early in their development is when the greatest impact is possible.
And this program is such a fantastic program because it meets that need, and it gives students who are struggling the skills and the tools they need academically, but in a fun way, right?
That's right. The program is all game and activity based. So the children have fun while they're learning, the volunteer coaches have fun, but the learning is real, and the volunteers feel well rewarded because they're often there when the light bulb goes on, and they know they've made a difference. The children come out for some one-on-one time with the coach, and then they go back to the classroom for that rich classroom learning with an education professor.
The program itself is delivered in the schools, and the schools work with you to identify the students that they believe will most likely benefit from the program, correct?
That's right. The children that are chosen for the program are chosen by the school team. And it does run during instructional time, and the volunteer coaches go to the school to work with the children that have been chosen by the school team. The school really knows the children, what other resources they have in the building, and who would really benefit from that one-on-one time, learning those foundational literacy skills. And it really focuses on kindergarten and year 2 kindergarten, grade 1 and grade 2 children.
And that's so fantastic for families because so many families don't have the ability to come out through the day or to take a child somewhere, right? That's just not their option. And transportation, we know, is a challenge in a rural community. So love that it's in the school, love that it's the program identifies children that can really benefit. And then love that you have volunteers who actually are trained to deliver the program. So could you tell us a little bit about what volunteering might look like and what that commitment is? Because I think we're going to have viewers who will want to be involved.
So the minimum amount of time that we ask a volunteer to give as a gift is 30 minutes, working with one child in one strand. Inviting volunteers have more time and can provide 1 to 2 to 3 hours a week supporting a child in a school. Prior to them going to the school and working with the child, though, they are trained by Strong Start. So they have 2 training sessions, each are 2 hours in length. Once they're done that, then they are ready to connect with the school and start their volunteer experience.
And so if a volunteer was at home or currently at work and thinking, I would really love to give a little bit, because this is a very caring and committed community. We know volunteerism is alive and well, thankfully, in Oxford. And there's a school nearby. How could a volunteer get involved?
As Lisa said, the minimum time commitment is 30 minutes once a week for 10 weeks. It's a 10-week program. So once you're trained, you get invited to what's called VIP, which is the Volunteer Information Portal. So if a volunteer does not have a natural connection to a school, or perhaps they want to volunteer close to their place of work and not where they live, they log into VIP. It's a secure portal, and they enter their postal code and the distance they're willing to travel. And the system will show them the schools that are within that radius, and then they can filter by the schools that are actually looking for volunteers and make a direct connection through the system to the school site coordinator and say that they would like to volunteer, and the conversation starts.
And it's fantastic that with your 10-week cycle, for people that might be, for instance, they do some traveling or they have some other things in their life, they might do 10 weeks and then take a break, but then they might come back, continue back again. So there's a lot of flexibility, which is fantastic. And now what else can you tell us about the program? Because I think just to understand how the program actually works, like what are the fun games and tools you use?
So there's a variety of fun games and activities that the children participate in. They may be tossing a beanbag or maybe doing a fishing game. We really want to look at all the children's interests and things that they like to do. But all of the games and activities are based on those foundational literacy skills. So learning their letters, learning the sounds that each one of those letters make, having the opportunity to build skill and blending those sounds together to build words, and then looking at words in context. So that's letters, sounds, words, and building words.
And I know you have a lot of rigor and a lot of research in your programs, and you do evaluation and measurement. And so for all of the wonderful measurement tools you have, one of the things that you recently mentioned was the child who now is raising their hand in school. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the impact on the children?
The impact on the children is definitely evident in their literacy skill development, but it also is in their confidence. And they go back to the classroom, and our teachers share with us that they are just that much more confident in their participation, in their skills, in taking a chance in their participation, and their hand goes up, and they just feel like they can do it. And it's that time that they spend with a coach, that volunteer coach that tells them they can do it, that builds that the idea that they are a reader and they're really successful. We have a story of a child who, in about the 5th session that they were working with a volunteer, stood right up from their chair and started to do a dance. And the volunteer asked what they were doing. They said, "I'm doing my happy dance because I just read a book." So it's really powerful.
And this is early intervention and lifelong intervention. This is proactive. It's preventative. It really can change the outcome for children's lives. And so those are dollars well invested and well spent. And the return on investment is quite staggering, actually, is it not?
It is. I mean, research would show that the return for every dollar invested in a child under 6 pays a dividend of $12 to $18 later on. So there's a strong economic case as well. But even more compelling is that idea, that sense of belonging, that self-confidence. As they move through the education system, they stay engaged, they finish high school, perhaps go on to something post-secondary, and they become contributing adults in their community with a better quality of life. And that is really the long game.
It is indeed. Yeah, and it is absolutely what United Way Oxford believes in. We want to make sure that children and their families have all the tools and supports and opportunities so that they can thrive and grow into really happy, healthy, productive adults, right? That's what we all want in our community. And so from a United Way perspective, we were so thrilled here in Oxford to be able to invest in your program to help secure the Oxford schools, to make sure that you have what you need. And so can you tell us what the dollars that United Way invests are used for?
Certainly, and I want to say thank you to United Way, and thank you very much to your donors who support United Way, and through your gifts, ultimately Strong Start. So your gifts help provide the learning materials for the children. We call them consumables. So some of the materials in the program kits get used up during the program, so there's that. The use of the program materials themselves, the games and activities, but also helps cover the costs of training the community volunteers. That is what the investment is helping to provide. It all goes directly to programming. And also the program coordinator. Strong Start has a part-time staff person in the community, from the community, who helps coordinate as the liaison with the schools back to Strong Start. So that all is directly given to program
Well,
support.
we were thrilled to be able to support your work here in Oxford County. We know it's making a huge difference in the lives of our children, and we are grateful for the work that you and your volunteers are doing, because it literally, we know, is changing children's lives. And this is a great example of it truly does take a village. And so we're thrilled that you are part of our village here in Oxford County, and so thank you for what you do. And thank you for joining me today and sharing a little bit about Strong Start and your programs. I'm hoping it will inspire volunteers from across our community who might be looking for something that involves, they want to be involved with children, they want to make a difference. Well, this is a fantastic opportunity for that. And if anyone has any questions, for additional information, they can go to your website, which is
strongstart.ca.
That was easy. So thank you so very much for joining us today and for all that you do. I would encourage everyone watching at home or at work to stay tuned for upcoming episodes where we continue to talk with other funded partners and hear and learn more about the good work that's happening across Oxford County that's truly making a difference in the lives of our families, our friends, our neighbors, our co-workers. So thank you for joining us today.